And now, Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blank. And Tyler, you're my tag team partner again. I said in the production meeting just before we hit record here, 1% less worse, better than last week. I feel good about that. It's Royal Rumble weekend, and it's over. So many things to talk about. How you doing today?
I feel great. First and foremost, I'm glad that I earned the title back of being your partner. That's a very promising sign.
I almost took your whole name last week, so
yeah, you sure did. We remember. Happy Black History Month, Brad. Happy Black History Month to our audience. Very excited for this week's edition of Gimmick Infringement. You tossed it up. We have Royal Rumble Fallout to discuss. Big last week for AEW. Big week coming up in All Elite Wrestling. I have a movie that I saw, The Wrecking Crew, starring Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista, which we're going to get into a little bit later in the podcast. Arizona Wildcats, men's basketball still undefeated. We're going to discuss it all and then some.
Can't wait to talk about that one.
Right, of course. Any of the topics that we're going to get into today, know that we would love to hear your perspective. We would love to hear your takeaways, and dare I say, your hot takes. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit us up here in the comments. If you are following us on social media, well, first of all, if you're not following us, you should. We're at GIPod19. We would love to interact and engage with you on there. We also have some fan love that we're going to get into. Shout out to all of the amazing people who follow us and contributed their thoughts, particularly over Royal Rumble weekend, Brad. I am so happy to see you. How have you been? What's going on?
I've been good. I have a what happened here later on that is a very deeply personal what happened here as I shifted my chair and maybe grimace during the entirety of this episode. If at any point I yell, it's not because I'm excited. It might be because I'm excited, but it's probably just going to be because of my back pain. I want to say it's because I'm old, but this has been happening since my early 20s. So here we are. Apparently, I just never learned how to lift anything up. And my back never goes up in cool, life-saving ways or being just a total strongman badass. It's always the dumbest possible points of my day.
We're recording this on Sunday morning, and word on the street is you were wearing a weight belt.
Yes,
earlier.
I don't. It was not a nightmare.
Was it the American Nightmare from the WWE shop?
It was not the $80 belt from the WWE shop, or more than that. I don't know how much it is now. No, but it was one of those Amazon Velcro gimmicks that I'd wear when I was deadlifting. Back when I had the ability to wake up in the morning, I miss those days when I could just set an alarm and then I would get up. And now I set an alarm and I hit snooze for 2 hours and then am tired all day because I didn't get up. So here we are, and I'm sure it's going to get better. It always does. This will heal. This too shall pass. Really big week for me in the theater. Really big week for our kids. Like you said, it's Black History Month. It just dawned on me now that it's February 1st. How is that possible? Tyler, I got a show to do in less than a month. And I got the shortest month to get to it.
It feels like we were just celebrating New Year's. We had Rosie on the podcast. We had our year-end conversation.
We had our Stranger Things stuff. Yes.
That was a whole series we did. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to George. And it's already February. Here we are. That's how this thing goes, man. Grateful for it all.
Yeah, likewise. And it's crazy. And it's. I said this to you last week. It's a word I took away from the Fallout series. I think it could have been from Skyrim. I think it's in both, but I'm over encumbered with blessings. I love that word, over encumbered. I have a lot going on, but it's all good, positive stuff. So it's blessed and busy, as you would say, to steal your words. But I know I'm gearing up for this show, and this show is definitely going to be on the docket for Live Event Jones at some point here in March. But before we get into that, you two had a show on campus for the school that you performed, and I can't wait to hear about it. So let's get into it. Cue up the music for Live Event Jones.
Let's talk about it. I was in my Winchester bag last week, specifically on Friday night. I learned early on when I was hired, so this is going all the way back to our summer training in July and August, I heard about this Sunny Slope High School tradition known as faculty follies. It occurs once every 2 years in which the faculty put on a variety show for kids in the community at large. This year was 3 nights. There was a Thursday evening show, and then on Friday they doubled up. There was a 5 o'clock show and a 7:30. Tickets are $5. Been promoting it for the past couple weeks on campus. And I've learned that kids get really excited about it, and they come out even with their family, and it's a whole thing, Brad. And proceeds go to a faculty folly scholarship on campus. So I thought, being a newbie, that I could just fly under the radar, Brad, and nobody will know. Hey, I'm gonna promote it. I'm gonna do what I need to do, but I don't plan on staying on campus in the evening. They said, nah, bro. We're watching you, and I was cajoled in the weeks leading up to this event by several different colleagues to partake in this. Now, there are varying roles that you can take on, Brad. You can be a ticket taker / cashier. You can sign up to be a part of a Backstreet Boys tribute. I sent you the video. This really happened.
It's true.
You can do a variety of things. You can dress as a baby and do a TikTok dance. I said no to all of those options, but I did agree, which is shocking, I'm sure, to our audience. I did agree to take part in the game show portion of the evening. So we're backstage. I thought about you throughout this event because I get there at like 4:45. Backstage behind the auditorium, you can kind of peek through the curtains. You make small talk with folks. There's a variety of Kirkland signature treats. There's M&Ms, there's peanut butter pretzel rods, and it's kind of this forced opportunity where you're supposed to bond with your colleagues. And I actually think I've developed some of those skills now that maybe I didn't have in a past life. So it's cool to get to know people, especially being new somewhere, and like, oh, I see you when we're frantically in the copy room trying to get ready for class, but now we get to just talk and get to know each other. So that was neat, I will say. And then eventually an hour and a half goes by, and it's finally my time to go up on stage. Game Show Jones, our English department lead, is the host of this. So I already knew the pressure was on. I was studying tape after school because we got sent the video from night one. So I was like, oh, I wonder, like, I need to make sure I'm prepared. I wonder if they're going to ask the same questions. So English department lead introduces us. It's myself and 2 colleagues from different departments. One colleague is an art teacher. She's been at Slope for 5 years. The other colleague is a history teacher. He's been there for 7 years. And then there's me. So we get the introductions. We get to say how long we've been at Slope, to the applause of the crowd. And then we're asked about 10 questions, faculty-related questions, Brad. So picture this. I sent you the photos. There's this huge overhead projector that they have unveiled in the auditorium. Think when MJF comes out and then they give him the flag. It's about that same size.
Drop.
It's massive, the huge drop.
Yeah.
And we're shown pictures of faculty. And so it's a variety of, okay, here are 2 pictures of colleagues. Can you name them? First and last name, if you really want to flag. Okay, here's an ABCD, pictures of 4 different colleagues, yearbook style photos. Which person is not in the yearbook? That's what it's. Brad, how do you think I performed? We had to buzz in for this as well. It was myself, 2 colleagues, about 10 questions, had to buzz in. How do you think I did?
Well, if when you buzzed in, your audio was as clear as this audio, probably not as well as you would have wanted to. I will say that did you buzz in on those 10, or did you get to answer 10?
We had to buzz in.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to buzz in. If you buzzed in, you got to answer. If you got it wrong, someone else can go from there.
I'm gonna say you earned 7 points.
Actually, it was about 8. I think I was about 8 and a half.
I was gonna say 8, and I was like, I'm gonna think down because I the buzzer gimmick. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, bro. When I tell you, I dominated this event.
I knew you would have. You're too competitive not to.
No. Yes. And so I got it legitimately. I can find the receipts and show you in our audience. About 10 questions were asked. I had to have gotten about 8 correct, and one of them I gave to a colleague. So I was like, oh, that's Maddie McDonald. That's our theater teacher. Everybody knows you can have this as a courtesy. I get backstage, and you know what, Brad? This was eerily reminiscent of the epic rock, paper, scissors match of 2025 that I told you about, the district
That's
welcome
right.
back. Because when I made my way, so I win, I do the bow and people clap, and then when we make our way backstage, we high five each other. I have a variety of colleagues. There's this group of about 5 ladies who are practicing their Taylor Swift dance. I mean, it was just craziness backstage. People are just like the rock paper scissors duel. If you know, you know. They're giving me high fives. Hey, way to go, dude! Da da da. And I just went into full. I think my first response, hopefully I first said thank you and was gracious. And then my next response was, don't act surprised. This is what I do. I do this. And then I went home full of adrenaline and pride. And that was it. I snuck out before the end of the show, which I was totally okay with. Because when you're a winner, you can call your own shots. So Faculty Follies, man, it was an experience. Kids seemed to have a good time. I showed up. I dominated, and I repped GI all the way through.
Let's go. Listen, I had no doubt you were going to be a dominant force. As soon as you said it, I was like, if anybody had a chance to get an answer in, is what I was going to say. Because I could see you absolutely being like, all right, I know how this will work. We got potato sack races coming in. You know the Jim Carrey Grinch. There's the potato sack race. They play Chariots of Fire, and he like kicks kids out of the way. I could see you doing it.
That's okay. I try to be in the middle of I could be competitive.
No, I'd see you be in the middle,
but also
and push kids to the left and to the right.
Extra. Yeah. Luckily, I just had to face fellow adults, and if my record shows anything, we know that I thoroughly dominate colleagues. So
I could see this is what I think you would have done too. You get the point. And you wouldn't be braggadocious about it. You would just get the point and maybe do the quiet little deadpan face, fist pump, just a little fist pump.
I actually did do that. I did do that. Yeah,
yes. Let's go.
I sure did. I'm sure the video exists. It's probably in my inbox now. I'll check it tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. If you do production team, you need to clip it and put it out with the pod this week. I need the little fist bump.
I just got fired up, man, and I heard so much about Follies and the varying opinions about it. Not every teacher partakes, and if you don't, you're low-key frowned upon. But I just had so many. You know how this goes, and I know you relate. Being the amazing tech director you are, you have so many thoughts in your mind of how this is going to play out, what this event is actually going to look and sound and feel like, and then it's finally the night. And sometimes you go out and you just crush it, and you have a good time, and you're glad you had the experience.
Yeah.
That was Faculty Follies 2K26.
Man, proud of you. That's awesome. It's great to get out there. It's also I totally feel it, and let us know in the comments how you feel about having to do work related things. I think the education space is just so unique in that you're doing this with kids. It's not trivia night at the bar, right? Like I've been asked to come back to work for free on my own time to do an event for no reason that's going to give any kind of personal benefit, except you get to be a part of the community, your school culture, the community at large. Parents get to see you, like all of those things. I think that's pretty cool because I hate going out. Like when I get invited to go to places, like that's it. I will say it again. The best thing that happened for me was the ability to use Freya as an out. Just be like, nah, I got a kid. So I 100% I've done that. No shame in admitting that.
As you should.
Yeah. Whatever. But the point is that once you go, it ends up being usually a pretty good time. And even if it's not, like, if you're not taking yourself so seriously that you can embrace the mess, like we've learned to do here, it's a good time. It's a good night. But you didn't have to. It sounds like you just crushed it. And your opponents.
I sure did, man. Triple threat. I'm undefeated in triple threats so far this year. Like you said, and you and I have talked about this on air and off air. Mm-hmm. In this career field we've chosen of education, where you have all of these extra potential requirements or kind of these gray areas of, is this required? Is it voluntary? Am I going to be frowned upon if I don't go? There are just all these potential extra commitments. I want to go to this kid's performance or this game, but it's hard. I also want to watch Raw and eat Girl Scout cookies. It's just this perpetual battle for time. So much of this work, so much of this life, I would say, is just, it really is what you make of it. And if you can do your best to stay positive and just focus on joy, I think that goes a long way. Because I was going full curmudgeon leading up to this event. I was the only person seemingly on the floor of our building
Full
at
curmudgeon's great.
3:15 on Friday. Yeah. And I was sending you a voice memo walking around. I had the door open. I'm like, I should probably close the door when I send Brad voice memos. But I did not because I'd like to live on the edge. And then Faculty Follies was cool, man. We got home safely, and I'm sure people will bring it up to me tomorrow and praise me for my performance. And that's, if anything, that's what I'm here for, is to be acknowledged like Roman Reigns was over the weekend.
I hope so, man. I hope so. I'm glad so many people got to see you. I don't know how big the crowd was. How many people would you guess?
It was decent size. I believe the 7:30 had more people in the building.
Okay.
I would say the auditorium.
Oh
was,
wow! I didn't realize you had like a two
separate shows. Oh yeah, and I was only there for the 5 o'clock. People
Okay.
asked, "Oh, hey, are you going to hang around for 7:30?" I said, "No, I am bouncing after my duty. This is what we do. Like, you show up, work your match, and then I'm going home." No, I would say
wreck everyone and leave. Yeah,
exactly. But and it's so different. This is why I thought of you. It's so different to be on the stage. I was doing like my Christian Cage look down. Do I know any kids here? I could see like the first 2 rows, okay.
Yeah.
But then it was
hard.
It was hard to make out. I would say in fairness, the auditorium was probably about 65 to 70% full.
Oh, wow, that's a good turnout.
I think so. Yeah, I expect that 7:30 probably even had a bigger showing. Thursday, I think did crazy, and some students even told me they were there and they had a blast. But I would say about 65-70% for that 5 o'clock show.
So a few hundred people. That's really cool.
I would say so. That's awesome.
So.
Yeah, that may be generous, but people seem to have a good time.
Well, it always feels like there's not as many people in there, and then like
exactly.
You've been in our pods, right? Like, so you've been in a pod in the auditorium. It's hard to recognize that there's almost 200 seats in each of those pods.
Right.
So because they don't feel that big, and then it's like, oh, there's 200 people can fit in here. So if you double that, it's 400 people, almost 500 people at the end of it. So there's a lot of people there to watch you, but I know there's other watching that we care about here, Tyler, and that's the 2 most important words in GI.
Steph watch.
So much. I love what we get to do. I also love that Stephanie Buckier is still our Women's World Champion.
I love how much I can't hear you right now. I love that when you lead in, it sounds like blowing bubbles into mud, I think is what I described it as before. It was like, but I believe in you. Embrace the mess.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
We're on Mike Watch as well as Steph Watch. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can. Oh my gosh. Verizon flashback. Thank you for that.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so our Women's World Champ, Stephanie Buckier, defends her title against Raquel Rodriguez tonight on Raw in a Philly street fight. I don't think she's in real danger of losing her title this evening, but stranger things have happened. Liv Morgan won the Royal Rumble, and I can only presume that she will choose to take on La Primera rather than SmackDown's Jade Cargill. Either way, I still think Liv leaves Vegas as champ at WrestleMania. Liv actually eliminated Raquel during the Rumble match, as you may recall. So I don't know if I should be worried about tonight's match. Man, Steph's been champ since last September at WrestlePalooza. I'd be cool if she's still champ by this September. I just need that debut action figure to reach my local Target or Walmart imminently. I think we're still months away from that, but we will see what is going down for Stephanie Buckier in the months to come, Brad. I just wonder if it's interesting for the Royal Rumble, the winner, it's always touted as they get a main event WrestleMania match for a title. But my recollection is sometimes that's not how it bears out. For example, last year, Jey Uso won the men's match, and him and Gunther definitely opened WrestleMania. That's not a main event. I would hope that Liv versus Steph would get that platform, let's say a night 1 main event. I just wonder if this is the okie doke of that's how Liv's victory is touted, but then Liv and Steph are going to open up, let's say night 1 in Vegas. Either way, that I want Steph to be champ heading into WrestleMania. However, I think the pieces are in play where Liv is going to leave Vegas as champ. There's a lot of fervor around her return. She's awesome. She's put in the work for years, seemingly beloved backstage.
Yeah.
And if this is the match, I just want this rivalry the build to the rivalry and the eventual match. I want it to be befitting of how talented both ladies are. And I just really, really want my Stephanie Buckier action figure.
I know you do. If we're going to get moments like the way that Man, the way Liv, we're about to get into it, but that last elimination, the Oblivion,
It was awesome. It's a top 5 Oblivion.
that was, yes, 100%. That was so great. Oh, I love that. No notes. If we get moments like that, we'll be feasting. It'll be a good time. That'll be when I probably buy my subscription again, because I'm going to cancel it in about an hour here, and then get it back for Mania, and then get rid of it again for the rest of the year until we get closer to the Rumble again. Because oh my God, it's so expensive.
It's hard. It's hard with these shows now, because I used to be able to evade the Crown Jewel shows, but now we're talking Royal Rumble, we're talking WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It just so happens that I have Hulu at the moment, so ESPN Unlimited is a part of the package that I'm signed up for. So it was just, I think I told you this back in Survivor Series, I popped when I saw, oh, I have Survivor Series as part of the package, and I haven't canceled since. So we will see. This was overall a fine show, Brad. I think we'll just go ahead and roll right into it. I have a WWE question for you. So AJ Styles wrestled his last match with the company. The Bella Twins reunited, and Roman Reigns is #1 contender once again. Which post-Rumble storyline are you most invested in, Mr. Winchester?
Oh, probably Roman. I mean, I want to know what's next. Who's he going after? Who does he chase? Which one of those guys does he want to fight? And most importantly, what's it mean for everybody else? Who's going to get the spot at Elimination Chamber? What if Roman enters himself into Elimination Chamber and wins that too? And takes both belts?
Circa
Yeah.
2021?
Yeah. But it doesn't happen because he's stopped. Like somebody stops him. I'd be here for that. I don't know what's going to happen. I know Cody getting booed was the thing this week, so we could get anything, man. The AJ storyline seems to be more like I don't know how kayfabe that is. It feels more storyline than real life. I have no idea. I'm interested in that in terms of like a outside of the ring storyline. If it is in fact an outside of the ring storyline, I don't know when his contract is up. I didn't bother to look. I'm sure there's stuff out there about it. The belief is that he's not going to go to another company right now from people that are in other companies, but they also might be selling for that storyline as well, or just have no idea. I think, the bigger likelihood would be for him to retire, but end up in TNA and do work with them, probably on a WWE contract, but like doing work with TNA and then using that as your way back in. And I could totally see that. Like he should, if anywhere, like him ending in TNA would make a ton of sense. And it would be a huge boost for the television package for TNA, because it's what I've heard from my tag team partner here, it's not very good over on A&E. So we'll see. For the Bella Twins, I don't know. That was really cool. We got some really cool moments. Huge pop for Brie, especially. But I thought that moment over the ropes, I thought that was really cool. And I could see that being really a fun thing happening for storylines for the tag division. I would love to see that. So I'm excited to see that. But in terms of storyline, it's got to be Roman. What's the tribal chief doing next? Since that family, the bloodline is just so fractured up, with Solo doing his own thing and Jacob Fatu doing his own thing, and we got the Vision, and apparently Brock's a part of the Vision, or just came out with Paul and made us all confused. We're pretty sure that it was an obvious stomp by Seth Rollins on the outside of that ring, but nobody's sure if it's Seth. It's probably a swerve. So we'll see who that is. I don't know. Do you have any theories about who that was?
I have zero theories.
Me either. I thought it was Seth.
The Vision. I was going to say the Vision is not my answer to this question. I am just over the Vision already. I agree with you. The masked figure being Seth Rollins seems far too predictable. I think this is a Logan Paul situation. Logan Paul.
It's giving me Logan Paul vibes
jealous
too.
of Braun Breaker, and I saw on the timeline on
Braun
Twitter,
to be a babyface by having Logan Paul.
Exactly. I saw on Twitter, especially if Seth Rollins won't be ready for WrestleMania. What's the Braun match? Maybe it's it's him versus Logan Paul. I saw on Twitter people treating this like the Zapruder footage. They were going back and doing the zoom in. It was like, oh, the
Yeah.
facial hair looks just like Logan Paul.
Yeah.
So shout out to the internet sleuths on the timeline who are treating this full Zapruder mode, and that kind of swayed my thinking to believe, okay, no, that was definitely Logan Paul doing something nefarious to take out Braun Breaker out of sheer jealousy. It seems like something Logan Paul would do.
Yeah. I thought it was a choice not to put gloves on that person too, to make sure you can see white guy hands.
Yes.
And I was all right.
Is this the Montez Ford moment? No,
yeah.
Of course.
And then I saw it and I was
of course
like,
it's not.
It's definitely not.
It's Logan
yeah.
Paul.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess coming out of it it's probably Roman. I'm curious to see what that looks like. What is this going to be that's different? And how can they make it not predictable? And what are they going to do? I think it's interesting with the dynamic with him and Jay. I just think there's still stories left to tell in there. I half expected when Roman was out there to have Sammy Uso show up to help him. When it was Gunther out there, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I have no idea what's going to happen, and I think that's exciting, an exciting prospect. But Roman burying the product and going like, we have to have, it just seems flat. We'd have to have better ideas. We need to figure out how to move things forward. Moving forward by going backward to an old storyline of Roman winning the Rumble from 2015 and then having him go to WrestleMania to fight probably Cody doesn't seem like it's moving it forward. But honestly, sometimes you got to have your big star be the one to carry the weight of the company forward. And right now, I don't know that Cody can sustain that the way that Roman could right now. I think Cody's just been there for too long. And that's fine if you have a heel because it makes all the baby faces seem more likable and you can get behind them. And it's like the chase to have that big payoff. But right now, you got a shades of gray and a baby face as your champions. So I don't know. Who's the heel that's going to step up? Drew's not heel enough for me. Yeah, he took out Sammy, but like he was wrestling Sammy. So, and Drew's right.
And he took out Cody during the Rumble match. And
yeah. So that's as close as you get.
Right. And this feels, I mean, obviously this is always the point in the calendar where we do the calculations as fans of, okay, what's the Mania match going to be? And we just did that during Steph Watch. Is Steph going to be the champ heading into Mania? Of course, I sure hope so. And for Drew, he got this statement victory over Cody to dethrone him. But it seems like a lot of us as fans don't believe he is going to be the champ come night 1 or night 2, right? We've been penciling in, somehow Cody's going to get his title back. Maybe they run that match back or run that rivalry back one more time, which will then facilitate Cody versus Roman 3. I wonder if the pivot could be Roman goes after CM Punk. I have a hard time envisioning Roman chasing the title on Monday nights. That just is not computing in my mind that he would do that. But the Roman Punk match is just on the table. And that is, I think that frankly is on par with the anticipation that we could see for a Cody Roman 3. And also Drew already has a really interesting title program heading into WrestleMania. I could see him in a 4-way against Jacob Fatu, against Cody Rhodes. Maybe we insert Sammy. Maybe Trick continues to ascend and gets that spot. And then the other match would, in fact, be Punk v. Roman. Where does that leave Braun Breaker? Again, maybe that's Braun Breaker versus Logan Paul. I think there are a lot of potential options here. I just wonder if the move actually isn't going to be Cody versus Roman 3. I'm still thinking that's the way. I still think that's the biggest match they can put on. But I think there's also another opportunity if Roman chooses CM Punk and, kind of splitting the fan base. Half the fans throwing the ones in the air, half the fans yelling out it's clobbering time. Some fans like us kind of doing both because we enjoy both of these guys. I wonder what the move's going to be for Roman. It is intriguing.
That's the thing. I think that's the biggest question that I have coming out of that particular story, and I think that's why that story is the one that I'm walking away with. I think that's the one I'm most interested in or most invested in at this moment. For me, my question for you is pretty straightforward. I didn't actually have a question going in, but I have a couple now because I thought we were just going to go through it and give our thoughts. So I want you to pick some winners for me. Who was your winner from the men's and women's Rumble? And who did you walk away with questions about?
Women's Rumble, Sol Ruka. As you mentioned earlier, she's just a star, man. And clearly they are incredibly high on her. Last year, Roxanne finished final two, eventually losing to Charlotte Flair. That was a great sign for Rox in terms of having the company's backing. This year, for Sol Ruka to finish with Tiffany Stratton and Liv Morgan, so promising for her and her prospects once
Mm-hmm.
she is fully on the main roster. She's great. She's different. And that gave me a lot of hope for her next steps once she graduates, if you will, from NXT. On the men's side, no surprises here. The ruler, Obafemi. Come on, Brad. When he came out number one, I, I was just pumped because we got the entrance, and you know how I feel
Mm-hmm.
about the entrance. I will consider buying 2K just so I can play as Oba for the entrance. That's how much it means to me. But then
That entrance was real good.
it was
I'm gonna give you that. That was a
and
real good
and
entrance. Yeah.
whether no matter where they go, the crowd participation, the crowd backing behind Oba, he's just such a can't miss talent. And at the same time, when he came out number one, I thought to myself, oh, the dream of having him be Final Four. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to be in this match for an hour plus. That seems like a long shot. So I was impressed with the presentation
Mm-hmm.
for Obafemi, the crowd reaction, and the work itself. We totally got robbed of the Braun Breaker versus Obafemi one-on-one
Yeah, it was
to
upsetting.
start the match. It was very upset. I was like, oh man, we're cooking already. This is gonna be epic. And then, as we already litigated, Braun Breaker got taken out by a mysterious person in a mask, if you will. But Obafemi is my answer for the men's side of things. I thought he was great in the match. We got the expected face off with Brock Lesnar. Maybe that's Oba's match at Mania. We
Makes
shall
sense.
see. Yeah, we shall see. In terms of biggest question that I have following these two matches and really following the show as a whole, that's a good one. I'm really curious to see what's next or where we go for Royce Keys, the artist formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs. This was one of the major debuts, if not the only debut that we got in the men's match. And his
Yeah.
his performance wasn't underwhelming. That's not the right way to phrase it. He's great, and we're super happy that he has this opportunity.
We got the El Grandes facing off though. That
We
was
got
fun.
the Okra. Yeah.
Mr.
That was
Iguana was fun. I love that.
yeah.
I love that his puppet got tossed out too. That was
Yeah,
fun.
that was good. Damian Priest choke slamming
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah, that was so
Yeska,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Royce Keys. I wonder where he slots in. We don't know yet if he's going to be on Mondays or Fridays. He eliminated Damian Priest. He also, I think Royce Keys was eliminated by the Vision. It took three of them to toss Keys over. So maybe the first feud is Damian Priest. Maybe the feud is with the Vision. Maybe it's a Bronson Reed versus Royce Keys situation, which would be incredibly intriguing.
Mhm.
I just wonder what is the move for him, because in this era we're living in as wrestling fans, where there are so many viable, healthy companies right now, which is amazing for talent, number one, for fans of this great sport. We're living in a really great era. WWE historically prioritizing AEW talent they sign, right? To show people in the other company, hey, if you sign with us, we're going to treat you right and,
Right.
and do this the way we should. We have examples of obviously a Cody Rhodes. That's a very unique situation. Cody Rhodes, Ricky Saints, Jade Cargill, all have found success. Royce Keys comes in, and in the same Rumble match, we have a Ray Phoenix. We have a Rusev, the artist formerly known as Miro, who are complete afterthoughts right now.
Yep.
Rusev lasted 1 minute in this match, which is crazy. Ray Phoenix comes out and it's just not a big deal whatsoever. I think he was eliminated in relatively quick order. So
Yeah,
where
very
where
quick.
where does Royce Keys fall? What a year from now is he going to have an experience that is more like a Ricky Saints? Even though I think you and I expect Royce Keys to be on the main roster right from the jump, it's going to be more akin to a Ricky Saints, Jade Cargill, or is it going to be closer to a Rusev, Ray Phoenix experience? I sure hope it's the former and not the latter.
Rusev lasted 32 seconds. Ray Phoenix lasted 1 minute and 28 seconds. And I tweeted this out yesterday, but it's the Rusev sucks, and Miro worked. And for both companies, WWE and AEW, not to be able to figure out how to make that work is baffling to me, given the athleticism of a person that size, and just the audience just not caring at all. And maybe it's the presentation. I don't know, because that Rusev theme, I hear it and I'm like, they're gonna have some like Bulgarian dinner or something. What is this theme music? The theme music, like, I have questions about in general because it's terrible overall. And then every once in a while you get an incredible theme thrown in there that's like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah, Kit Wilson.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay. I had a hard time with this. So on the women's side, Sol Ruka, obviously, to your point, but Lash Legend for sure.
Yes.
I felt like that was an arrival for Lash Legend. That was
It was.
that wasn't even just like she had some cool moments. That was nope, she's a force and she's going to be a champ soon. The way that she was handling just everybody. And I think that scale, you don't really get to see how big she is until she's up against somebody that's pretty big. And when she's like, oh, she's kind of a lot bigger than Rhea, and Rhea's big. Holy crap. All right. And then Zelina's in there and you're like, oh God. She's gonna hurt someone being in there, being all that size. Sol Ruka doing the mid rope kind of springboard soul snatcher was really dope. Like that, there was so many different moments in there. I really thought that Lash Legend and Sol Ruka had a huge night. Super happy that Natty got to get out there and get into the Rumble again, because I just, again, I know she's not a young person on the roster, but like, how do you not use her more? Given her status and her importance to professional wrestling, especially women's professional wrestling, and all the work and her connection to the dungeon. There's just so much history there that I think it's underutilized with her. But those two, Lash Legend, Sol Ruka, Oba Femi, yes, that's the obvious pick. But I'm gonna go with the person that outlasted Oba Femi with Javon Evans having a very, very good evening in the Royal Rumble match. I was trying to explain because Frey doesn't remember stuff. Javon Evans eliminated by Randy Orton, but no eliminations for Javon Evans. He was in there for 40 minutes, no eliminations, almost 41 minutes, 0 eliminations. I think that's egregious, but he was in there for a long time. But I looked at Frey, I was like, hey, remember the bouncy guy? Huh? Bouncy guy's here. Okay, she sat down, watched for a little bit, got bored and left. But they were putting together the sale today for their shirts and her bike and stuff. She didn't leave because she was bored. She left because she heard the words "make money."
She's got sale. Listen, the young entrepreneur.
Yeah, has to.
When capitalism calls, we answer.
That's right.
That's what we do.
So yeah, my questions walking away from the men's side, Rusev. From what CJ Perry did in an interview, and then how Meltzer talked about it, I believe it was a Wrestling Observer had put the words out, or was transcribed from somebody else. Who knows how it got aggregated? It seems like the basic premise is that he was getting paid more to be in AEW, Rusev, Miro, to be in AEW, but wasn't happy about not being on TV. And didn't want to lose to anybody but the top guys, but was only losing to the top guys, and apparently didn't want to lose to them either. And then went to the WWE to be on TV more, but took a pay cut, and now isn't on TV more. And there was a big talk about pushing him as a monster heel, but the crowd reaction was so mid that he's where he is now. And I have questions about what they're going to do, because the WWE will just hold a contract hostage, throw those folks out there every once in a while. No Plan Jones, and then they lose, get eliminated really quickly, whatever, move on. I have questions about that. And same for Rey Fenix. I get Penta. Totally understand Penta. Penta's a megastar. They have big hopes for him. The crowd is super behind him. He's a super marketable character. Rey Fenix is just sort of another lucha on the roster at the moment. Even though he can do just unreal athletic things, he's just sort of a guy. And he went in there to get thrown out. And I couldn't tell you the last thing I watched him do. Like, his entrance sucks. His presentation isn't any good. Well, I shouldn't say it's not good. It's just not different. It's just a presentation, and it's fine. But at this point, I'd be asking you to go work full time in AAA, where I know I'm going to be appreciated and I know I'm going to get ring time and I can be a huge star. But they're just not going to do that right now in WWE for Ray Phoenix. So I have questions about where he fits on the roster right now because Dragon Lee is getting that spot. There's only so many dudes in masks that they could put out there in WWE specifically before I think people start going like, I don't know who these people are. And I think that's what they had a problem with a long time ago too. Because they don't know how to work with luchadors. They just don't. And then on the women's side, Candice LeRae, Kairi Sane, and Bayley. I have questions about all three of these women. Candice, they made it a point to be like, yep, Poison Pixie City, 20-year veteran, all these things to last like a minute, 2 minutes, something like that, and get murdered. She's sort of been sidekicking it for the entirety of her run since she came back. Kairi Sane, a top New Japan star, the first New Japan women's champion ever. The one who held the gold when Mercedes Moné debuted after leaving the WWE. That Kairi Sane, 1 minute, sidekick city. What are they doing there? And then Bayley, I just think they forgot about Bayley. I don't think they know what to do with Bayley anymore. And it's starting to really piss me off that Bayley is just in this. What would you explain? How do you describe that role?
It's giving lame. It's giving lame duck. It's giving.
It's not sidekick. It's
swan song. Yeah, it's just her next to Lyra Valkyria, and she's had this kind of schizophrenic, coded gimmick.
Yeah, I don't hate the character.
But we still love her, and I don't think she's gonna turn on Lyra. But it seems like speculation amongst the community has been her contract. I don't know if this is confirmed by Fightful Select and Rob Wilkins and the team, Sean Rossap and all the great folks there. It seems like, oh man, this is probably Bayley's last year. I think her contract is up sometime, maybe this summer, this fall. It's just giving, okay, let's give someone the Bayley rub. I guess that's Lyra right now.
Yeah. And that's okay. And that's
because
okay.
Bayley and Bayley clearly has interests outside of just being a mid-card WWE performer at the moment. I saw the Lodestone documentary she dropped of that all-women's camp that she facilitated and organized last year. That documentary was dope. Her initiative is amazing. But I don't know if you heard, but Peter Blanken, my pops, met her. Bayley was at Fry's down the street just a few months ago. And he said great things about her. Apparently there was a huge turnout for her. So I think Bayley's just been, it's interesting because whether it was her WrestleMania match being taken away or the build to her getting the title at WrestleMania against Io now 2 years ago, and the lack of build to that, like we've just had these moments where fans have come through for Bayley, and whether it's in person at a Fry's Wheatley Vodka meet and greet, or whether it's at these shows, or whether it's online, I think the community has just really shown up for Bayley and said, hey, we recognize you, we love you, here are your flowers, you deserve the world.
Yeah.
And it just seems like Bayley is not only a woman of many talents, but she's just shown that she has interests outside of just what she's doing now. So I guess she's big sis to Lyra at the moment, but I just think you and I are going to be talking about Bayley, let's say a year from now. And whether it's Lodestone Part 2 or whether it's her, let's say, signing with AEW and partnering with Mercedes, I just think right now it's giving kind of lame duck, kind of this is the contract year, and she's putting her best foot forward as a pro's pro.
Yeah.
But I think, man, whatever her next move is going to be, it may be some of her best work of her career because she's given back to the industry. She has so many talents, and people just love her.
Yeah.
Like she's uniquely loved in that regard. So right now she's big sis to Lyra, and I guess we're just going to do this till Mania, and maybe she'll be on the pre-show, which I don't love, but I'm not happy about it, just like you.
She'll get a spot, I think, in the Elimination Chamber match. It makes sense to put her in there.
I hope so.
Because she number one, she deserves it, but she's always been good in those. So
right. She's always a viable
excited.
Threat for sure.
Yeah, and she's just so awesome. Like I love her, but I also think like she hasn't had a short career there. there's a lot of people that haven't had a short career there. And, you know, when Edge retired, he retired. Edge is never coming back to Toronto, but he never said Adam Copeland isn't. And I think that in that interview afterward, he's like, I love the WWE. It's my home, but I've done everything. What else is there to do? Like, there's probably a point, especially for Bayley, who has done, I think, everything a woman can do on that roster. At some point, like, what's next for my career? Because you only have so long to do it. And we have to always remind ourselves that tribalism only exists in our heads. It's only a fan thing. And the talent isn't. For the talent, it's what's the next best job I could get. It's where can I go and build my brand and have showcase my talents and do all of that, make money, make a living. But also, like, whatever is going to pay me more and be better overall as I go completely out of focus here. There we go. Embrace the mess is going to be the next best thing. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I guess we'll find out this summer or later this year. And I guess we'll know more as it gets closer to Mania, what it's going to look like for her. And I just want to see her, on that card. Or we're going to be having a segment around that time that we're going to have right now, Tyler. And that is what happened here. Let's play the music.
What happened here?
Tyler, yesterday I had to set up a piano and several other things. I was getting set up. Every year, the orchestra teacher at our school, shout out to Rachel Vega, holds the string fling. It's sort of an early morning to midday event where the 6th, 7th, 8th grade orchestras come play with the high school orchestra and kind of build that community for the feeder schools for our school in the district. As you know, there's another feeder school. And I know that not everywhere on campus has a choir in the district has a choir or an orchestra program or a band program. I think everywhere has a band program, but not everywhere has all these performing arts programs. So I think it's in their best interest, and because it's awesome to get the community out and go, like, check out where this is going, especially for you 6th grade parents to know, like, here's where this could end up and here's what we do and here's the kids. This is what the program looks like. It's awesome. Okay. I said since my 20s, my back has been going out. Okay. Did I ever tell you what happened the first time or how it went out the first time? I probably did, but do you remember?
I don't.
Okay. So I was sitting like this grading papers, and that's the whole story.
Just like that.
That's right. I was
Straight
sitting
up.
like this, and all of a sudden, out, done, cooked. Lower back just effed, completely effed.
It's the grading that gets us every time.
The second time, I was walking into Fry's. My mother-in-law's in town visiting before they moved out. I got out of the car, grabbed a cart, started walking into the parking lot. Tyler, all week and the previous weeks, I have been lifting platforms, moving around lumber, picking up heavy metal, carrying just giant things, having to go up on a ladder and grab this door that got stuck, shove my fingers into the door to try to unjam it and hope they don't get cut off by the weight of this thing. I did not tell you this. A couple of rules back in the shop. It's say noise if you're doing something loud. And on the door training, that was the thing. Say noise. Noise, open the door because it's loud. And then never open it all the way. So my 4th period got done. I walked out, went to shut the door. One of them opened it all the way up. And the reason is there's something broken in there and it'll get stuck. You can't pull that door back unless you get your hand all up in there. So I've been doing all this stuff, fixing all these problems, lifting all this heavy crap, super high stress, high pressure that I placed on myself. Because ultimately it's a privilege to be able to get to do what I'm doing. So yesterday, I set up this piano and dragged that big bad boy out, got it set up on the stand, bent over, gaffed down the floor to make sure kids don't trip over all the cords and stuff. And what do? Take one step on a stair. That's all she wrote. Tyler, what happened here? When did I become an 80-year-old man in my 20s? Why has it continued through my 40s? I am 43 years old, dealing with back pain. I think it's stress. I'm sure it's diet. I know it's lack of exercise. But I drank water. Not a lot, but I drank it. I had coffee coursing through my veins. I know I had migraine medication coursing through my veins. But to be taken out by a step that has been there the entire time. I'm not sure what happened here. If you can relate to this, please let me know. Please let me feel better that you've injured yourself in some stupid way that, like, if you were to tell somebody, oh, how'd you throw your back out? I was, there was this car on fire and I had to lift part of it up to help get someone underneath who was trapped, and I saved their life. And my back went out as a result. Nope, took a step down a stair. I just stepped down. Done. Please make me feel better.
Please. There's strength in numbers. Let us know. And if you let us know, we'll give you a shout out on the next pod. Brad, watch out for those steps, man.
Apparently.
They're treacherous, I hear.
Mm-hmm. I guess so. Tyler, no transition Jones. Let's get into it. AEW question. Let's talk AEW.
Yeah, we must. Okay, so Jamie Hayter successfully defended her title against Tekla. MJF said Brody King looks like a Nazi, which was crazy and hilarious. And the Rascals had their debut match with the company on Collision. And by the way, Kenny Omega, he's coming for that title. I for sure think he's beating Andrade El Idolo this week in Vegas. Then we're going to get MJF versus Kenny for the AEW Men's Championship at Revolution. Let's go. I loved the action that we got this week, Brad. Andrade versus Swerve. Oh, my goodness. We got that on TV?
I thought the same exact thing. I was like, that was a free match.
And then we're going to get Andrade versus Kenny. Okay. I am seated for that. I want to make sure I mention that. Also, Tommaso Ciampa is all elite. He also had his debut match on AEW on Saturday, dethroning Mark Briscoe to become the new TNT champion. Let's stick with the latter. What did you think of the Psycho Killer's debut, presentation, and statement win?
Okay, I love the presentation. I love the Tron. That song, I've been scanning Apple Music for days now, trying to get it on the playlist. Great job, Mikey Rukus. I have you in my What Did We Miss? Because, whoo, boy, that was a good song. That's how you make a song. It also has that Pavlovian sound to it that nobody else has with just humming, which is wild. I thought it was great. I thought he went out too early. That's it. I thought he went out to, like, I don't want to see a silhouette until that skull pops up there. And then you do, when it's my shadow knows my story, then arms up so the flames hit the background, and then you're there.
I was squinting trying to figure out who is it?
Because he was up there for a solid 20 seconds just standing there. And I was like, he had his arms out and then went, I think I'm early. Do a little dance, and then his arms back out. Stand there for 15 seconds, and then the lights come on. I was like, that's too long with your arms out. It was awkward. He committed. So kudos. I know in a post interview, I'm not sure what podcast he was on, he had talked about, like, he's, everybody that debuts for another company wonders and worries if they're going to respond in any kind of way. And I thought, yeah, how are they not? Former ROH star, dude is well known. People love DIY. He goes back to, like, the most popular heights of NXT. And I think that people will look at him and go, that's a dude you want to see in AEW, in New Japan. I feel like it's kind of made for him and his talents. It's perfect. And having his first match be with Briscoe made all the sense in the world. We're going to get him and Fletcher. That match is going to rule. I am so excited for the potential matches that could come out of this, just because he's so good. And I don't know that people in WWE ever got to see how good he truly is. Not on the main roster, for sure. To see how good he can be in the ring when put in a situation where he's going to have a match with other ultra talented people. So I'm super excited for the possibilities there. He's going to get finally used. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, because I thought Johnny would be going with him at some point, like back when they signed their contracts again. I thought for sure we were getting Johnny wrestling, but it just didn't happen. And whatever, it's fine. But Tommaso Ciampa, Psycho Killer, the coat, great coat. But I thought that music fit him really well. I thought the presentation was great. And I think it's really cool that he's the first one to win a title on his debut match in the company. I think that's dope. It shows what kind of trust they have in him as a person. I also think it sends a message to whoever's watching that, like, yeah, like, if it's not working out in another company, you just got to find the right fit. And good things happen to people that just put in the work and are patient. And I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the company. I'm excited for what we get to see in the future. But especially when Kyle Fletcher came out and immediately was like, that's mine. I want it back. And he's just giving him, come and take it. Oh, can't wait for this.
Right. Yeah, you highlighted what stood out to me most was, I'm not saying the theme song is incredible. I love that we already see the direction of his first title feud. I think that's kind of been the blessing and the curse of talent we've seen jump ship to AEW is we have all this fervor and excitement when they're there. They get the match. They usually lose the championship match. I'm thinking of
Right.
Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually lose the championship match, and then seemingly too often, creatively, it's been kind of rudderless and it's been kind of stuck in the proverbial mud.
Right.
I would imagine Tony Khan and company have learned from some of those lessons as still a relatively new company. And okay, when we bring someone in, let's be very intentional about how they're going to be used and what is next following the debut match. What comes after that? To your point, Ciampa wins. Not only wins the match, but wins the title immediately. And then in that same collision episode, we get the setup for, who's going to face next? Arguably our hottest homegrown star at the moment, sans, maybe MJF or Jamie Hayter, hottest homegrown talent who doesn't have a title, the proto star Kyle Fletcher. And like you said, that is going to be an incredible mesh of styles. And it gives both guys something to really sink their teeth into.
Right.
So for Ciampa, huge win that we now know what's coming next for him. And for Kyle Fletcher, admittedly, I would love to see him back in the main event title scene, but a feud with Ciampa is a great backup plan, and I don't know who would win that feud, so I'm locked in.
Yeah, I can't wait. And honestly, my question for you is unfinished, but here's what my question was going to be. It was going to be a choice between these two things, but we're already talking about Ciampa, so we're going to go into the other part of the question and just ignore the first half because that's what I was like, well, we already kind of talked about it and you answered some of my questions. Okay, Tommaso Ciampa, he's all elite. And then we have maybe the storyline or not the storyline, we don't know. AJ Styles. Okay. My question. Because Will Ospreay put this out there. Is AJ all elite? That's
100%. Revolution. I think is it in LA again this year? If I'm not mistaken. I refuse to call it the Crypto Arena, the Staples Center. I think it's back in LA. I could be wrong. AJ Styles, Will Ospreay, Revolution at the soonest, Double or Nothing at the latest. This needs to happen. Yes, absolutely, of course.
LA.
LA, okay. Ricochet, I was thinking of the purple and yellow graphics. Ricochet,
That's right.
even commented on it online, and he said, I think someone made a faux AJ Styles is all elite graphic, and Ricochet quote tweeted and said, the scrub is not coming to my company. He's too scared.
Yeah.
Mercedes Monet tweeting out, I hope the rumors are true. True, I should say, easy for me to say, $ tongue emoji and the, fingers crossed. So it's just, this is good. Yes, of course we have to see this in 2026. The Will Ospreay match, that's given me Revolution or Double or Nothing all the way.
Will Ospreay, a reunion with Kenny Omega and the Bucks and the Bullet Club, like
has to happen.
Imagine if Finn's contract runs out and we get.
Wow.
If we get Devitt,
I'm just saying.
If we get Devitt, AJ, eventually, it's not going to happen for 15 years, but eventually Cody Rhodes.
Wow.
We get all of them back in there. Like that would be dope. I would have loved to have seen what they would have. WWE will never do it because they want to own the IP and the property and own your name and all that stuff. But like, how cool would that have been with the scale that WWE has if they just allowed people to kind of do what AEW was allowing? I just think about that all the time. It's like AJ Styles, Prince Devitt, Cody Rhodes. You had them right there. If you'd open it up a little bit to allow some of the types of wrestling and matches and stories that they tell in AEW New Japan, you definitely would have had Kenny Omega on your roster and Will Ospreay on your roster. And I think that could have been really cool to see as a production as well. But I don't know what that would have. We'll never know because that's not what they do production-wise. So the possibility of AJ Styles coming in to run some matches with all of this talent that he has worked with before, but he hasn't worked with some of them ever. And I wonder what an AJ Styles Darby Allin match looks like.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Could be fun, but also what's a Tomasso Ciampa Darby Allin match look like?
Right.
That I'm here for.
It kind of goes back to what you said about Bailey, or even our conversation about Royce Keys. Now
Bailey
in WWE.
versus Megan Bayne.
Sometimes
the role models reunited. Yes,
you want to mix it up with new people, and I think it goes both ways for talent in AEW or maybe looking to sign WWE and vice versa. You want new talent to mix it up with. You want that proverbial fresh coat of paint, and for everybody we listed, I think it's fantastic. Certainly for Ciampa, and if AJ Styles is going to maybe spend the rest of the calendar year, whether it's popping up in TNA, which I agree with you would be awesome, whether it's going to AEW, which I absolutely think is going to happen. I mean, this is how it should be, right? And in the meantime, as fans, us giving the flowers to someone like AJ, who was a face of a generation. I mean, I remember having the AJ Styles DVDs from TNA, the Phenomenal One, and listening to the song on repeat and watching the weekly Wednesday pay-per-views with my dad. I mean, this guy has had a very uniquely, no pun intended, one of one career. And if he ends up kind of checking the boxes of having been in, seemingly every major promotion, what a perfect way to go out for someone of his stature. We need it. I need the Will Ospreay match at Revolution. I'm not waiting to Double or Nothing. Let's make this happen in March. I think Will Ospreay, reports are that he is doing much better health-wise. Yeah. I think the stars are going to align, and we get that for sure.
I hope so. If not, I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him in New Japan. Maybe he enters the G1 or something. I think either of those things would be really, really great. I don't want to see him continue to wrestle and go out with some fanfare, not as the other match on the Rumble card. That's the thing where I was like, yeah, it's a big spot, but just a Southern boy with the farmer's strength in this country music song, and he goes. I
wonder what his next song's gonna be. Actually,
but he goes out.
You had I am. You had the Southern. I wonder.
But he has that song, and he goes out in Saudi Arabia as his last match, not even in front of his home fans. I just don't see it.
Money talks. You know how this goes.
Yeah,
money
I mean, it's a big moment in a lot of people watching.
Yes,
but still, I was like, man, he probably send him off where he wants to be sent off. I doubt he was my dream is to be sent off in a stadium they put up a carnival ride in a month in a parking lot in a different country. That's what I want. Where the LED seats make it impossible to tell there's people in them. Somebody's getting fired for that, for sure.
You ain't lying. That was
it looked the lights looked really cool, but it made it look like it was just lights.
That reminds me, quick fan love, by the way. We had some really great comments from our audience, and speaking of the seats in particular. So first, shout out to Kenny on Instagram at Kenny_B_06. Kenny, like you, Brad, said, that crowd was not there, literally. Based on how they framed it, I also had those same questions. Thank you, Kenny. We also had John at Knight with a K, KNIGHT .1954. John said, and this is in particular with the Royal Rumble, I hope Cody turns heel and we get the trilogy with the praise emoji. Shout out to you, John. I think Brad and I are definitely locked in for that. John also said, in terms of predictions for the Rumble, going back to WWE, I'm killing it with my hosting today. Obafemi eliminates either Brock or Braun. Yeah, I wish. Well, I guess he did eliminate Braun, so shout out there. George, shout out to George Romero. George even jumped into at Sylvester.Romero. Very classy gentleman. His predictions for the Rumble were Roxanne wins and Braun wins. So, George, you were 0 for 2, sir, but we still love you anyway. And then finally, I think we have one more here. This is going back to John. John mentioned, still here for the heel Cody run. Yeah, we're with you, John.
Yeah, great calls all around. And shout out to the people that sent in their things. Thank you so much. Great crew to have. Great crew to talk about right now, though, because we're going to play the music and Tyler's going to give us his thoughts. This is GI at the Movies, the Wrecking Crew edition.
And now, it's time for GI at the Movies.
Okay, the Wrecking Crew. Obviously, if Dave Bautista stars in a film, we are going to talk about it here on GI. Brad, this is an not Amazon Prime. This is a Prime Video
There you
production.
go. I had it up. I was ready to hit play, and I thought, nah, they're coming
right
home.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can play this. I might have to put on my headphones. I don't know how much she can see.
Yeah, and it's R. It's rated R for sure.
Yes.
There are some hilarious moments. There are some grotesque moments, and this was a very enjoyable film. This is one of my favorite Prime Video productions.
Awesome.
On the film side that I've ever seen. Yeah, this is an incredibly effective, essentially a buddy cop scenario. So some quick background. Lots of action. Private investigator Walter, I believe they pronounced it Hale in the film. It's set in Hawaii. Private investigator Walter Hale is killed in an apparent hit and run in Hawaii. His sons and estranged half brothers, U.S. Navy SEAL singular, James, and suspended police detective Johnny, Batista plays James, Jason Momoa plays Johnny, are informed of his passing. So they must come together. They must reunite. They're long estranged back in Hawaii to figure out who killed their dad. There's other family members involved. There are just shady characters abound seemingly everywhere. These guys killed it. They have remarkably good chemistry. And this film overall just was fantastic and was a joy to watch. Mind you, it came in at about 2 hours, Brad. You know my stance on film times. I do not need to see a film over 2 hours. I've been very clear about this controversial take. But this is one that approached that 2 hour mark, but just provided laughs, provided a ton of action. Like I said, surprises. And these two are just very effective as a duo. Furthermore, if I've not sold you yet, Brad, there is the Yakuza, the Japanese mafia. There's a John Cena reference. There's a phallic thumb drive, just full phallic, not even hidden. And there's a Get Out. I guess I don't know if I'm selling you on the film that there's a phallic thumb drive, but it was surprising. And there's a Get Out connection. Get Out, one of my favorite films ever made, celebrating its 10-year anniversary next year.
Trick and Tea?
Stephen Root. He played the blind art dealer Jim Hudson in Get Out. Get this, he plays a Hawaiian police detective, total babyface, no spoilers,
Okay.
in this film. And I saw him and I heard the voice. And I was like,
I hired
wait.
an Islander for it. That's good.
Yeah, I was like, wait, this voice and this face. I've heard this voice. I've seen this face before. I go to Google and I confirm this is Jim Hudson, the blind art dealer in Get Out. So he popped up in this film. Like I said, the chemistry is great between the two leads. The last time I remember seeing Momoa in an action film is when he played Dante Reyes, the big bad in Fast X. So much like you and I discussed with wrestling, to me, Jason Momoa is operating at his peak powers when he's a babyface, when he's a good guy that we want to root for. Maybe that's just me. Audience, let us know in the comments. I enjoy seeing Jason Momoa when he's a character who we want to root for and see good things from. So unlike Fast X, I won't get you started on the Fast franchise, the most important franchise of our generation. I really enjoyed seeing Jason Momoa in his babyface bag. Check out The Wrecking Crew. You will not regret it. If you saw the movie, again, please let us know what you think, and we'll give you a shout out on the next podcast. The Wrecking Crew, check it out. Very good performance from everybody involved.
After this, I will likely be going to check it out. Probably start it up, enjoy some lunch, and then maybe put 10-foot pieces of wood in my Chevy Aveo and try to drive it around a little bit. We'll see what happens. If I can stand up. Who knows? I've been sitting a long time. The next steps here might not be steps. They might be the next crawls. We'll see what happens. Tyler, what do we miss?
What did we miss? Okay, 2 points. R&B singer Ari Lennox dropped a Vacancy, her first album post Dreamville. I like it. My standout tracks are High Key and Twin Flames. Second and final, what do we miss? U of A men's hoops took down ASU. This was in Tempe, 87-74. The Wildcats are now 22-0 as of this recording. Bear down. What do we miss, Brad?
On that note, the absolutely disrespectful and amazing chants happening in Tempe that drowned out the ASU crowd. The U of A chants were unbelievable for that game on enemy territory. I thought that was really, really great. Seeing that go viral was really cool. Just going like, oh yeah, they're just dragging them in the building right now. That was really funny. And the Rukus method. So I said that Mikey Rukus, love him. I love My Shadow Tells My Story, the Tommaso Ciampa theme, he put out a short video to show his process of all the different sounds he layered in and how he recorded it and how he created that song. And it's worth a watch. I want to say it's like 4 minutes long, and it's really, really cool. So you can kind of see what goes into making it sound like that, and just what an absolute magician this dude is in a studio. I thought that was really, really cool. So check that out.
Absolutely. Quick 19 media shouts. First, Mike, Steph, Mo Johnson, Hidden Gems Football. They're preparing for their big Super Bowl episode. We love those guys. And also, Desmond Powell is dropping a new podcast.
Yes, he is.
The Midpo. Shout out to Des. I believe he's dropping those every Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. What a time for 19 Media Group. Brad, what a time, dare I say, for GI. I think February is going to be another big month for us. Of course, we have a lot to discuss each and every Monday. In the meantime, in between time, you can follow us at GI Pod 19 for all of the exclusive show updates, a few surprises, and much more. We thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.